Hello, home buyers and lease dwellers in Greater Austin, Texas area. I'm Chris on with Berkshire Hathaway, Texas Realty. Today, I'm going to talk about um, comparison between lease or buy a house. What is benefit or disadvantage? Um, there's some obvious advantage of leasing. If you live in a city, a very short time period, let's say 1 year or less, obviously the lease is more benefit and you have more leeway to leave uh, as soon as agreement is expire. No, normally 1 year contract and you renew each year or sometimes 2 years. So short-term strategy is lease is to obviously the primary choice. But if you live in a city, let's say 2 year, 3 year, or sometimes 4, 5 years, and the lease, as you know, when you try to renew the contract, and apartment lease is appreciated over years, especially the Austin area, and it's a little bit of increase 2 digits, and I have experiences and three sometimes a 3 digits on 100, 150. If you live in a little bit of better house apartment area, deluxe, like 1500, 1800, sometimes 2000, the annual increment is extremely steep and does not make any sense to sustaining your lease. Obviously, more than like 2, 3 years terms. And what about the tax benefit? Lease, your money goes to the landlord, and there's no such as tax benefit. But buying a home, and all the if you do a mortgage, the interests you're paying and a property tax, you have a tax advantage. That's obvious. How about the monthly payment? The lease, as I mentioned, is not that cheap here in Austin. So average is almost closer to the 1500 when it comes to a 3 bedroom or 2 bedroom more. Buying a house, surprisingly, it depends on the location, right? So it's hard to justify the average, the amount, but overall, it's quite similar or a little bit more, like 100, 200 more, but depends on the location. What about the equity? Lease is not applicable. If you're buying a home, each year you can build up your equity. So normally 30-year fixed rate, meaning is you're paying up during the next 30 years and the home is completely yours, right? That is your 100% equity. But if you're paying 30 years for your apartment lease, and the same thing, nothing left. What about investment? Lease, there's no such as investment uh, strategy applicable. But buying a home, as you build up your equity, and you can use your home as a investment tools. If you need money, you can think of a loan, like a home equity loan, or the cash out refi option. If you want to buy another home, you can lease out the current existing home to the tenant, turn around as your landlord as an investment, buying a new home for your primary residency. So there are many different strategy can be applied with your home. The one of the misconception is lease. You need a very limited cash required for the starting initiate your terms. but deposit money and some deposit for the your dogs and cats and that etc. The buying a home, of course, normally down payment and closing costs is the dominant factor for the cash requirement. But surprisingly, if you think the using different strategy like a USDA loan, a zero down payment, and closing costs, if you get allowances from the seller or the builder, if you're buying a new build from the builder and their preferred lender cover most of your closing costs, meaning is you don't need that much money for closing costs even. So in many different ways you can minimize a cash requirement for buying a home. Okay, so there's many different ways you think of buying a home or leasing a home. There's a certain advantages each category considering your current situation. Again, you can use me as a free consultant. I willing to talk over the phone or face to face. And please text me, then so I can reach out to you, and or you can visit my website, a Facebook business page, or if you start searching a home uh, from the multi-listing service, which we Realtor access, you can text me to this number with the content with this message. You can access to the most of MLS housing information from today. Um, Thank you for listening, and I'll come back with the other interesting topic next time. Uh, Talk about the Austin housing market information. All right. Feel free to reach out to me. Again, talk to you soon.